What's going on there, Andy?
You're talking to myself on mute.
I thought you might
Thanks.
be.
Thank you, buddy. And thank you, Scott. Jamie, my friend, you're in Texas here now with me. How are things?
Well, I just walked outside earlier, took the trash out, and boy, I was like, man, I better get back inside before I just burst into flames here.
Yes, we are experiencing a major heat wave. All right, guys, thank you for joining us today. Jim, I see your question. We will go more over support. We'll have some slides for that. What's the best what telephone support is used for, and we'll have some more slides with that a little bit later on. As a matter of fact, I think Scott's answering you there in the questions panel. But with that being said, guys, once again, thank you. Let's dive in, okay? Before we do, let's go over the legal disclaimer here. Once again, guys, we're going to be talking about some neat looking setups, showing you some really good alerts and scans that we've created here. But guys, none of the stuff that you hear or see today should be construed as investment advice, okay? If you are looking for that, please seek out somebody who's licensed, like a broker or a RIA. But I had to get that behind us, but it's a lot more fun in here than sitting in a broker's office. So let's talk about the test drive, since somebody mentioned it in the questions panel just a minute ago. Starting July 23rd, and guys, remember, you will get access tomorrow after the close. We ask you to wait for at least about an hour for us to get those credentials out to you. So officially, it starts July 23rd, but you'll have access over the weekend that'll let you play around with it and get familiar with it before you dive in for the trading action on Monday morning. But please find out more information, trade-ideas.com/test drive. All right, let's talk a little bit about our TI University, but before we do, I'm going to come back to that in just a minute. I want to talk more about our 5-star support, education, and training here. Bear with me, the usuals that come in here that have been subscribers for a long time. I do have a nice little treat for you later on for sure, but I do want to tell all these people in here that are kicking the tires that it's a very powerful software, and we understand that. So do not worry, guys. We have so much support, education, and training here that you will not be lost. We will direct you down that path with our TI University that I'll discuss here in a minute. And not only that, our webinars throughout the week. You see them there on the left side. We actually have 5 of them if you count the Friday support session. You do not see, there's one on Tuesday in there that you do not see. That's one that Steve and I do. It's Steve's Trade of the Week webinar. And then we got the Traders Room with Barry on every day for basically 6-7 hours a day. That's free for everyone. So if you haven't been in there, man, get in there. It's a great hangout to learn not only about our software, but learn about trading as well. And then tomorrow, don't forget, we have a 3-hour session, just a straight up Q&A where you guys come in, ask the questions, and we answer it for you. So get in that. Let me go back now to the TI University. Okay, guys, we used to do one-on-ones. We have gotten too big for one-on-ones now, which is a good thing for everybody, including yourself, because now we have TI University, which is 6 hours worth of education every week, Monday through Thursday at 12 Eastern time. Starts with beginners one-on-one on Monday, and we run it all the way to Thursday, and just kind of stair-stepping up the way till we get the advanced class done by Jamie on 401. So guys, you need to sign up for that, register for that, I should say. So just go to our training session in our footer section at the bottom of any website page, and you can just click on training and you will be taken to TI University. All right, so let's move right on now, and we'll remind you real quickly, we do have a module we call Brokerage Plus. This is for traders who want to take their own strategies and automate them to interactive brokers. You can do that. If you want more information, this is for more advanced traders. Go to trade-ideas.com/beta. You do have to have a premium subscription to use the Brokerage Plus product. All right, let's jump into the agenda for today, guys. We're going to talk about the market recap as we always do. Holly recap. Holly has been on a tear lately. Today was I was actually pretty proud of her. I mean, nothing to write home about, but it was a very choppy, sloppy market, and boy, Holly held her own very well. But she was due a breather because man, Jamie, the last several days, man, she's been killing it. So, uh,
True.
but there was some trades. Yeah, there's some good trades in there today too. And Jamie is always good about breaking those down. I'll turn it over to him there. And then I got a segment where shorting junk. I'm sure some of you guys are familiar with it. It's in our book, 5 Ways to Profit, I believe is the name of it, in a post BDF market, BDFD, I should say. Anyway, there's a chapter in there called Shorting Junk, which I wrote, and it's based on an alert that I have. And I turn it into a swing, and the results in this thing are just incredible. And I'm going to show you guys the back testing, and I'm going to give you several reasons of why, and I don't know what this is popping up here, of why you should consider this method if you're new to trader or maybe you're looking for a style. It's a different style, but I think you're going to be really excited about what I have to say about it. So let me back out of this, guys, and we will jump into the market recap. Let me pull up I got this up right now. We'll just leave that there for now. And let me try to grab one of these. I'm on a foreign computer here. Well, it's not totally foreign, but I don't use it very often. Let me pull up the spiders here. All right. Gosh, and I have no idea. This must be some sort of Slack thing. All right, guys. Well, this is the spiders. I've talked about this area for a long time. This is the pivot level. I'm just going to draw a line right here in the spiders. We know what the Qs have been doing. We know what the IWM. If you don't, I will briefly touch on those in just a minute. But they broke out to all-time highs, about a month ago, and we're gonna. But the spiders and the diamonds have been kind of lagging. Here's the all-time high going back to January in the spiders. And although we're getting closer, we're still a good ways away from that all-time high. And I mentioned several times this is a huge pivot level. And it's also what may be considered a distribution level, because every time we get to this level, we stall. Here's the breakdown from that level. Came back up, stalled here, more distribution, stalled there for about 4 days, could not get going, sold off, and now we came up here looking like we were going to poke through. Things are still sitting up fairly well for a poke through, but it's hard for me to get excited, because I really thought if we got through this level, we might take this level out pretty quickly. And yet we're still kind of dragging here. Maybe we're waiting on the 10-period moving average that's sloping up right here, and it's going to catch it and kind of force the action higher. That's definitely a scenario that we may be looking at. But once again, this has been a very stubborn level for us to get through. And if we cannot get through this time, I would imagine there's some bulls going to really get frustrated after several attempts to get back through this level. So time will tell. I mean, obviously, this is still a very bullish, chart, but once again, it's a level that's had a hard time with. We look at the Qs, and this is what I'm talking about. We took out an all-time high right here, pulled back, took out it again. The Qs have been saying for months now with the spiders, come on, what are you doing? Let's get going. Same thing with the IWM. IWM broke out of an all-time high right here. You couldn't stop it, had a pullback, couldn't get through now, but I mentioned to the guys today, I said, whoa, is the IWM, is the baton being passed to the IWM now, because it outperformed the other sectors pretty handily today. So we'll see what happens if IWM is going to take the stick now and run with it, which it won't surprise me. But anyway, Jamie, I don't have a whole lot to say other than everything still looks good, but this has been a very tough level for the spiders. And boy, you think once we finally got through it yesterday, there could be some follow through, but maybe we're just resting some more. Time will tell. Uh, I don't let real quickly at the diamonds, and yeah, down day for the diamonds, and it's nowhere near its January high either. A pretty good distance off there. So, Jamie, any nuggets of wisdom you would like to add to the overall market recap?
No, it's just, you know what I will say about the SPY breaking that level. I thought, when that happened yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
or actually the day before, right? And if we go back and look at that 15-minute chart the day before yesterday, of course, a lot of it was gap, where, I mean, we had the gap down and the gap fill, right? And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
look at that mad run we just went on. I mean, yeah,
Yep.
right there on, the
Yep.
17th. I mean, no, the
Oh, right here.
day
Yes.
prior,
Yes. Yes.
we gapped down, then we just boom, we blew right through that gap. I mean, that's been a lot of energy there.
Mm-hmm.
So, seeing it do its thing now up here, who knows? We might go sideways. I thought we got a little ahead of ourselves, but who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Could be a couple of days, could be a
Yeah.
couple of weeks that we spend in this
Yes.
area.
And David makes a good point. Maybe some summer doldrums, and
Hmm.
that's very very true, David. Although in the last several years, the summer hasn't stopped us, and so
Exactly. The summers have
yeah,
not been characteristic of the summers of the
it,
past, for
exactly,
sure. Yeah.
exactly.
Hmm.
But that's always a possibility. The combination of a tired market along with the summer doldrums, maybe this is the effect we're getting. Well, like I said, time. That's the one thing great about markets. Time. Just hold on. You'll know soon enough. All
Uh-huh.
right. All right, Jamie. I don't really have anything to touch on the Holly before we dive in. If you just want to take over the uh, reins here
Yeah, let me grab this.
and break down Holly for us.
Yes, and not a whole lot of breaking down to be had. Of course, there are always some nuggets. Do you have eyes on my screen now, Andy?
I sure do.
Okay, perfect. So, a lot of us, we're sitting here today going, all right, Holly, we're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting. And 30 minutes passed, and then an hour passed, and I'm like, no trades from anybody. But you know what? During that time, I wasn't that surprised, simply because I was like, looked at my compare count readings this morning, slightly negative, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, it's going to be one of those days. You just need to be, patient. And of course, once Holly stayed out of the game for a good bit of time this morning, um, that was only reiterating what I already thought. And I'm pretty sure that Holly 2.0, let's see here, was the first one to get active, because
Hmm.
let's just double check here. I'm currently on original Holly 844. So now let's pop over to 2.0. Come on. There we go. All right. So yeah, this one, she got active at, come on, enough with the double clicking. All right. So we can see here, 829, looking for a bounce. Couple came out. Then the other ones started firing as well, but never really got to, well, I take that back. Holly Neo, risk on Holly 2.0 was 84 cents by the end of the day. And we got up to about $1 here, but let's take a look at Neo real quick here. I got to refresh my memory. Boy, Andy, it sure will be nice when we can have all of these displayed simultaneously, so we don't have to
I agree.
keep
Yes.
clicking around here. And Holly Neo still waiting to load the trades up here. Yeah, and Holly Neo never really got above, not even up to 24 cents on risk on throughout the day. So, you know, kind of not so great expectations unless we were all, focusing on the downside this morning. But we can see as soon as we put that bottom in, in the second 15-minute period here, I mean, boom, we bounced, and then we couldn't even, didn't crack highs till way later in the day, and then it was just a small excursion. So once again, hey, short opportunity. Now we're turning back up. Now we're going down. And of course, Had a few positions on myself today and got that same type of activity. But what I told myself is just it's a trader's diet today. Now today was not a day to go absolutely hog wild, and the Hollies reiterated that. So
Mm-hmm.
let's go back to 2.0 because that is where. But before we cruise back to 2.0, just to show you, here we are looking at Neo. There's not a lot of really not a whole lot to talk about with Neo. We had a total of 4 trades,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't knock the cover off the ball on anything. We don't see any big spreads between risk off and risk on here. 2-2, a
No.
penny and 0, and 10 cents versus 7, but that's going in the opposite direction, right? So just kind
Right.
of just a flat
Ho hum
day
day one.
for old Neo here. So let's pop back over to 2.0. And if she would grace us with the trade data, por favor. There we go. All right. Now let's just sort this guy by risk on. Okay. Funny thing is, Andy, is this trade right here, I was in it, right? And, the funny thing is it ended up being the best risk on trade of the day, right? 52
Yes.
cents, right? But of course, this is what we had to endure most of the day if you were in that trade. And I say that jokingly because, you really had to beat yourself up to stay in this trade, not because it never even, got halfway through through to the hard stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, see, this is cool because I think this reiterates what a lot of people that were in this trade or any other trade today might have done. I think they might have flatted it because they got so sick of being in the money, out of the money. Now I'm in the money. Oh, I knew I should have taken it. Oh, now I'm out of the money again. Damn it.
Yes. That could
That's
be
the
very
psychology,
frustrating. Mm-hmm.
right? But on a day like today, sometimes we just have to let the odds play out and go, look, I know it's not the most conducive day. If I was a surfer, I get out there all hyped up, man, first one out, and then the waves are coming in at like a foot, right? Well, doesn't matter how much you want there to be big waves, there just aren't, and you can go out there and do your worst, right? But even if you catch a ride, what is it really going to be that fun? So it was kind of like that today, or there we went to go sailing and the wind was just sorry, no wind. But some decent opportunity. We just had to be a lot more patient today, right? Because look at all
Mm-hmm.
the in Holly's reiterating this, with the exception of these two down here. Look at the spreads here. Flat, 52 cents, minus 10 cents on a reduced risk. 49 cents is where it ended for the day, right? And I mean, look at this THC. I mean, we talk about this all the time, all the time. We get in here, we just hug that line, in and out, through the line, through the line. Looks a lot like QURE, but all we had to do is just be patient, stick to our game plan, which is the stop loss, and eventually it worked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of
Yep.
course, Holly's gonna, she's gonna do her programmatic thing, right? That time hold comes up, she's going to punch out because that's what she's programmed to do. If and remember this, ladies and gentlemen, the longer the trade goes on and it's not heading in the direction, then the robot or the Holly's logic is going to be, it's not working. The longer I stay in a trade, and it's not working, then the odds are going against me. However, that's from a statistical viewpoint. We have to mix the two here. We have to rely on Holly and her two sisters to give us those statistically weighted entries. And then, of course, on the exit, sometimes we can manage that a little bit better because we can read the charts in the capacity that all us humans are accustomed to doing. And when we're just going sideways, otherwise known as a nice little flag, some flags are shorter than others. But when we look at the nature of the market and the limited opportunity, whether it's Holly or anything else. And, there were a couple, I'm sure from your high volume tickers, Andy,
Mm-hmm.
there were a couple that went, but a lot of them rolled back over, right?
Exactly.
But the funny thing is these were Holly plays and they didn't roll back over, right? And,
Right.
looking at this is the exact same type of pattern that I really love,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if we squish that down just a little bit, because this was the prior high, that's technically a range break, right?
Hmm.
Of course, Holly got this one from close to across, right? Kind of like, different thing or the same thing described in a different way. Because, what do we have here? A nice breakout, or what Holly was calling close to across, depending on the time frames that we're looking at, you know. But I mean, especially for a day like today where opportunity was kind of sparse compared to what we've been seeing, I mean, this is some quality plays right here. You just had to be patient. You just had to be patient. Of course, when we see relative volume numbers above 1, that's always a good sign too. Let's check out QURE. And this one was a lot higher in the day. It just kind of backed off as time progressed. But sure enough, the buyers eventually had to get their stock bought, and these guys worked quite well. So, even though Holly 2.0 only ended the day risk on 84 cents, if we take a peek at the max profits here, while she was in the trades, once again, not a bad showing. If we
Hmm.
eliminate the 3s and the 4s and the 1s, even the 6, I mean, to put on this many trades and be in the opportunity to exit for a profit, and then to have these guys move the way that they did, I mean, for a day like today, not too shabby, not too shabby,
Not at
because
all.
getting some of this spread, whether we made 25 cents or 30 cents, or whether we stayed in it until the end of the day, um, some really good opportunity, all brought to you by a very strong statistical system. Other than that, we had a little bit of juice. And by the way, the vault, I'm really liking this
Me
strategy.
too.
It's only been on the scene for what, a couple of weeks.
Hmm. At the most,
But
yeah, maybe.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna have to go examine the old back office later on tonight. How we have the strategies
Oh yeah,
uh,
dissected.
dissected and ranked. I bet that little guy's definitely in the top 5 with its performance thus far. Of course, a lot of them start out like that and then they degrade over time. But I've liked a lot of the trades that I've seen coming out of the
Me
vault here
too.
lately.
Yep.
Yeah, so other than that, not a whole lot to really talk about regarding Holly. 2.0 had the most trades, had the most risk on opportunity, and that's pretty much it.
Yep, that's yeah, you covered it really well. I mean, all you have to do is look at the 15-minute chart on the spiders, and I don't care what kind of strategy you're implementing, guys, you're always going to be at the mercy of the overall market. That's just the way it is, That's what makes, it's what makes a market, and days like today can be tough for any strategy.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I was just
Did you want to show something else?
no, 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 no. I think that's about it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go way off on a tangent here. I know that
Okay.
time is limited here, and I know you need to get your content. So if you're
All right.
ready, I'll just pass it on
Sure.
back over.
Absolutely. All right. You got eyes back on me, Jamie?
Sure do.
All right. If you go to channel 4, you're going to see, I believe you're going to see, correct me if I'm wrong, Jamie, but I think shorting junk is going to be in there. I'm pretty sure it is.
It
If
should
not,
be. Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
I'll
If
check
not,
for you.
guys, yeah, come back to me and I said, well, you know what? I'll share them in here today because I do have, this one will not be in here. The one I created really wasn't much of a creation. I used pretty much just use the same configuration and I turned this shorting junk into a swing trade. And the reason I wanted to do this, and let me start out by saying, uh, guys, Jamie and I have both been trading for 20 plus years. The best traders I know apply a strategy very similar to this. And once again, you can find this in our book, 5 ways to what's it called? Benefit in or profit in a post
Opposed to
5.
BTFD
Yeah,
market, yes.
yeah,
And by the
yes.
way, Andy, shorting junk is in channel 4.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Hmm.
All right, so I use actually in TI University I use this as an example because it's a really good back testing example to show people how you can just only back test on using price and time. to optimize, and how well you can use those two variables to affect back testing results. So what I wanted to do is, because the best traders I know, in other words, they love to short junk stocks, and when they are right, they don't just day trade them. They keep piling on and swing trading them, because their logic is these stocks are eventually going to go back from whence they came. And I can't tell you how often that is true. You see a stock spike up from $1 to $5, and you go back and look at a month later and it's back down to $1. We see that a lot. And these guys are experts at knowing how to find the junk and how to just keep piling on and keep piling on. And they're very, very successful traders. So I wanted to give you an idea of what they do. And this is a great alert to use if you want to implement this strategy. So first, I'm just going to take a look at the one that's in channel 4. This is actually optimized, so it may be a little bit different. And let's take a look at the strategy, at the configuration. Okay, it's a low. It's a simple low. It's my only alert. And we're going to go in here and take a look. Now these I've already optimized and back test, so we're not going to be doing any back testing today. But look at the price here. It's 25 cents to $3.99. And I'm going to try to work through this to where it makes sense instead of just going straight down the line here. So I'm looking for stocks that are within this price range and that are up in the last 5 days at least 35%. That's a minimum. Okay. I'm looking for stocks that have an average 5-day volume of 200,000. In other words, I want to avoid the stocks that are only doing 50 or 60,000. The volume yesterday has to be at least 200%. In other words, basically 2 times normal volume for yesterday. So I'm looking for stocks that up big over the last 5 days, had a pretty big blow, maybe a blow off volume. But for whatever reason, I do think I optimized this, and this is what worked out the best. Not a whole lot extra. The only real optimization on here is volume in the 5-minute. Okay, for some reason it peaked out on my intraday strategy at 600%. Max, I don't anything above that. I do not want to short it and do not want to count it in this back testing. And consecutive candles. Now these are 1-minute candles. This is an optimization. Basically, well, let's take a look at it. Now, don't pay it any time that you use our back tester. It's going to throw a fraction in here, so don't pay attention. It's just basically alerting you that fractions do not work. I could actually go in here and physically remove that and put in 2, and it would clear that out. But I'm looking for stocks that was up no more than 2 candles, let's just call it 2 candles in a row, and stocks were down no more than 2 candles in a row. So this is a 1-minute candle, and this was an optimization. And that's basically about it. There's not a whole lot to this strategy. And the reason I like this so much is it's been performing well for almost a year now, these results. So it's a strategy that will work over time. And not only that, guys, we're in a bull market. Okay, this strategy has been paying in a very strong bull market. It frightens me to think how well this, when we do get into a bear market, I may actually have to bring down some of the parameters, like how much it's up in the last 5 days. So let's just real quick back test this on the intraday time frame. In other words, I'm going to timed exit, and I'm holding this all day. And it's only counting the trades in the first 30 minutes of the day. Okay, so we're going to simulate sell here. Okay, that's not bad. That's pretty good. You got a 2.4 profit factor. Okay, once again, guys, profit factor is simply your total gross profits divided by your total gross losses plus commission. So it's kind of a way to factor in risk into the equation. I don't want to get too deep into that, but just think of it as, you know, profits divided by losses. So 1 would be break even. Anything around 2 or above, that's good. That's a good profit factor. Okay, average winner 18, average loser 12 cents. Okay. Total trades 129, 60% winner. This is the equity curve, very strong equity curve. Guys, these numbers don't lie. You've had a starting equity of 50,000, and I'm not trying to sell you on this. I'm just showing you the facts. 64 days later, I've run this back test for 64 days. Your account is at 82,000, and that's factoring in 4.95 commission. I didn't put any slippage in there, so maybe you'd have to factor in a little slippage. That's up to you if you want to do slippage. So anyway, I got to thinking about this, and I'm thinking, well, gosh, you know, the people I know use this same type of strategy, but for the most part, most of them aren't getting out on day trade. When they get right on these things, they take this average winner from 18 and they push it even higher. So what I want to do is I wanted to take this and try a hold for like 3 days. So let me just minimize this right here. And this is my shorting junk. This is my swing version. And we're going to go a little bit deeper into the back test on this one, just so I can show you guys what we're looking at. The back test, I'm running this for the full day, full time. I didn't see that, you know, that one actually works better in the first 30 minutes, but I'll show you this works better, just kind of open it up for the whole full time. Timed exit, it's at the close tomorrow plus 3 days. So it's basically at the close, it's actually about a 4-day hold. Risk management. Okay, this may seem extreme at the time, but you got to remember what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a lot of penny stocks. We're dealing with a lot of very low price stocks. So the average price in these stocks are probably around $2. So an 8% move is only $2 stock would be what, 16 cents. So even though the percentage sounds like it's big, you gotta think of it in terms of relativity, because look at my enabled profit target. I'm looking for like a 30% move. Okay, so 8%, that's basically, that's well above a 3-to-1, you know, profit to loss ratio. So don't get, I mean, in most cases your stop losses are going to be between like 1 and 3%, but when you're dealing with lower price stocks, it's not unusual, especially ones that's up 35% in the last 5 days. You're going to have a lot of volatility in those things, so you have to give yourself a little some wiggle room. All right, guys, so let's take a look at this, and I think that this, you're going to blow your socks off here. All right, so let's just run it. Okay, the average, you see exit time, I did tell you it is tomorrow plus 3 days. And summary, take a quick look. Yeah, everything's right, and we're going to simulate sell here. Get a drink of water while that's running. And look at there. Now, the winning percentage came down. It's not nowhere near the 60%, okay? But, and your profit factor, you know, actually came down a little bit. But look at these numbers, and you're saying, well, gosh, why are those numbers, you know, so much higher? Well, look at your average winner now, okay? It's 30 cents versus the 18 cents. That almost doubled from the day trade. And your average loser is still, because we have that 8 cent or that 8% stop loss, is still around 13 cents. So we've increased our average winner dramatically, and our average loser is 13 cents. So you're talking about a strategy, guys, that, well, let's just take a look at it. Let's say your average price is you know what? Before I do that, I'm gonna check the back testing, because I actually thought I had this a little bit higher. Let's go in, and we got plenty of time here. Let's play around with this back testing. Look at that right there. Look at those numbers right here. There, I can shave off these. I'm gonna put 30 cents in here. Let's put 25.
Why not?
Why not? All right. Look at that 375. It drops off pretty good there. Let's do 374. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and take this and make this my maximum. So I'm changing my max from 399 right now on the fly to 374. So we're going to do this. Okay, okay. I'm going to put this on summary, and I'm just going to run it again real quick. We got plenty of time, and this is fun. Get this question panel out of my way. All right, back test and simulate sell. And there you go. It did get better there on the little bit profit factor. The winning percentage jumped up above 50. The average winner and average loser was pretty much the same. So we only chart. Well, how did that only take out 2 trades? That doesn't make any sense. That's crazy. Let me go back to my optimize again. Price 360. Thought there were more trades in that last one. Let me try that again. I'm gonna put 20 cents. Yeah, well, there you go. See, look at that. Let's try 359. You'll find yourself doing this a lot, guys, when you're back testing. I mean, you'll find yourself going in, out, back and forth a lot. And let's just put this on 359. And I really like to play around a lot with, with price and time before I move on to the other filters. Okay. Okay, so that should be on 359, and let's put this on summary and run it again. Well, Jamie, I didn't think this was going to turn into a back testing session, but it looks like it
happens more times than not.
All right, getting better. Now we've got it up to 263. We got a 51%. We shaved 4 more trades off there, but it still seemed like the numbers may be off a little bit in the back, but that's okay. I'm happy with what's going on here. We actually shaved another penny off the and I can see this creeping up a little bit ever so slightly.
Oh yeah, I mean that looks really good, Andy. And actually, if you adjusted that equity down to like slightly less than 30 grand, then that strategy return is going to look even better.
No, true. I see what you're saying here. What he's saying is, you could put this on. Let's try it at 40 first and see what happens. 40,000, and click enter. And I'm just going to actually probably run again, and it'll adjust that starting equity down there. And brought it. I'm not sure why that brought it down.
Well, no. What would the one underneath? What was the first strategy return? Right above projected annual. The one right behind there. I'm just curious. 163.2. Okay, so it kind of just stayed right there. Or 129 was the previous one. 163. I mean, that's monthly projected. Hey, still, stratosphere type numbers.
It is, and when you look at these numbers, it's breathtaking. And what I want to show you guys, and let's just take a look at some of these. And I haven't looked at any of these, but I'm going to go ahead and just X out of these other ones so I can have some room here. I'm only on one monitor, and let's pull up the calendar and show you what we're looking at here. Let's just go back so we get a full month worth of color here. And all right, so let's take a look at, I mean, here's the thing. You're gonna have some incredible days. You're gonna have some big losing days too in a strategy like this, because when you're wrong, on days where you're wrong, you're gonna get hit. Here's one right here. Your profit was down 3,000 on this strategy. Remember, you're buying $7,000 worth of these $2 or $3 stocks. So this is pretty big size. Now you can always go in and play around with this when I give it to you and say, well, this is great, but I don't want to play that much size. I'm going to bring my 7,000 down to 3,000 or 4,000. I'm giving you an example of what really good traders that I know, because you are going to see, look right here, profit, the $3,000 a day, $4,500 a day, 3 days in a row here, almost a $5,000 day. You can click on these and take a look at them and see what I'm talking about and how you can really make money. Let's take a look at this ADOM right here. I have to minimize this real quick and put this back on a daily. Yeah, wrong place. Let's spread it out here big, make it a little bit bigger for you. All right, here's your entry right here. Boom. And this actually hit the target at 109. So you're talking about entering a trade here at 153, and there is your target hit at 109. You just banked 30% profits on this one trade here. Let's take a look at TGA. There's another one. And when you're going through these, take a look at the calendar. You're going to see a lot of stocks like this ADOM that have these incredible moves. People get all excited and they're going to have their pullback. And this is what I'm talking about. Remember where I said these eventually go back from whence they came? Look at this right here. It tried one more. So what happens is it's not uncommon to get this second move a lot of times. People waiting for the pullback, they're remembering this explosive move right here. They try it again, and now look at this, what I call a death march. This is a total death march all the way down. Tried something stupid here. I'm not sure what happened there, but the guys that I'm referring to that that actually make millions on some trade, just one trade, they will keep shorting something like this until it goes down. I'm not one of these guys. That was never my game. Now, I did play around with some of these strategies and did well with, but I never went full bore in like some of the guys I know. Let's take a look at something else. See if we can find some more. That's just a gentle pullback there. Still profited. CYTX. I'm not sure. This one actually lost money that day. Okay, yeah, that was a loser. Stopped out or whatever. Maybe that closed on the third day. But look what happened eventually to these things. I can't tell you how many times you'll see this over and over again. Let me see how much time I got. And Jamie, let me know. I'm on a single monitor. If I got any questions I need to address.
I believe we are good.
Good. All right.
Thus far, yes.
All right. Let's see if this is it. Yeah, that's it. Let's take a look at another day here. I want to keep showing you some examples, guys, so you'll get this, imprinted in your head. There's one right there. Beautiful one. You notice I don't know if I went over the configuration. Let me see if I can show you right quick. This is a key component of the configuration is the position in previous day's range. In other words, I want to max at 99%. In other words, I do not want to short this thing if it's above yesterday's high. But once I get that hitting lows on, let me look at something real quick. Okay. Once I get the hitting lows on below yesterday's range, that's when I want to hit it. And once breaking through the high, back through the high of yesterday, and that's why I want to short it. Look at this one. You got out at this one at, close that. AKR, your exit was 58 cents. This thing went all the way down to 33 cents. So even if you didn't get out here, look how much more you would have made on that trade. And guys, I want to bring this up. I know there's a lot of people out there, and trust me, I also like to play penny stocks to the long side. I don't mind chasing them when it's going in the right direction, but this can be a very, very profitable strategy. And if you look into it, there's a lot of logic here. We say, I always say that's, stocks are trading below $5 for a reason. And it's usually because, they're not making very much money. They got a lot of debt. They just don't, biotech that doesn't have anything in the pipeline, just for whatever reason. Stocks trading around 25 cents to $3 and, $4. Yeah, they're trading there for a reason. And when you do get those sudden pops in a 5-day period, boy, they can really set up an interesting, move to the downside. And look, this is really a no pain trade right here. You're shorting it right here, and just never even got close. But all right, Jamie, I think I see something coming in here. Let me see.
Yeah, a couple of questions, about shorting, the low dollar stocks, and really that just depends on where you're trading. Because yeah, typically
Absolutely.
if you're at Schwab or Scottrade or E-Trade or Ameritrade, yeah, they won't let you short those little ones. But hey, there's proprietary shops all over the nation that have different arrangements, and
Yes.
you bet your bottom dollar somebody somewhere is shorting them.
Absolutely.
You just have to be aware.
I had a broker that could get you anything you wanted,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, for the most part. Now, there is some interest involved, right? When you're shorting, especially if you're holding, overnight. Yeah, you're gonna have to
Sure.
pay some interest, but when you look at it, compared to what you can make, on the downside, it's a different strategy. But guys, I'm gonna take you back to this. Take you back to the equity curve. That is not lying. Okay, that is real. I can't say it's real dollars, but only because I'm not auto trading this, so I can't tell you for sure. Yes, you're going to probably maybe have some slippage in some cases. Maybe you can even get some prices better. I don't know, but that equity curve doesn't lie, and it can be a very, very profitable strategy, and you can look into it. So I tell you what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to drop this into so you can play around with it. Like I mean, when I see something like this, I don't know total trades. I don't want to get this thing down around 100. I like this number of trades, so I don't know if it's something you should play around with. And remember, this is back tested for 64 days, so you're really only looking at about less than 3 trades a day per average, about 2.5. So I don't think it's something you should play around with to try to further improve it, just because you're going to start curve fitting and getting your numbers down too low to where you're totally curve fitting. Okay, will we be able to play with your shorting junk strategy during the trial next week? Oh yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm going to drop this in there, and there's one in channel 4 already, Ken. So if you come into our test drive this next week, all you got to do is go to our channel 4. You're going to see the same trades coming through the one we're looking at right now. If you do want, just send me an email, Ken, when you get your software. If you want a copy of this cloud link, I'm going to drop it in the session tonight. It's very similar to the one we already have in channel 4, but I did take out what happened to it? There it is. Take a look and tell you what I took out, because I really didn't need it in here, because I took out the volume in the 5-minute. Remember, I had and this right here at 6, but it was the same at 2. I don't know what it is.
Hey, so Andy, you've already had a couple of people asking if they can get those settings. Are you going to be dropping this cloud link in the chat for
Yep,
them?
I sure am. I'm about to do that right now. I just want to show you the only thing different from the one in channel 4 is the volume. I actually can put this back on 199. The volume in the 5-minute in the one on channel 4 has that right there in it, 5 points or below 6%. So I just took that out because I noticed it performed just as actually better without that filter in there. So, and we just lowered the price right here to 359 versus the one that's in channel 4 is going to be 399. But yes, do not fear. I'm dropping this one in there right now. So let me do this right here. Well, you know what? I'm going to keep that the same, because I think I did it and it came out the same, but I don't want to make any changes since that's the one I just showed you. Oh shit, wrong one. Bear with me. I'm going to put this back on 3. Okay, that's it. All right, shorting swing. Save and share to cloud. Save and share. And if you go to your chat room, guys, it's going to be in there. Why is it not letting me? There it goes. All right, and I'm just going to put shorting junk in the chat area, and there's the paste. So there you have it. And Ken, once again, since you don't have it, it's not going to be any good to you right now. So once you get access, just shoot me an email, Andy at trade-ideas.com, and I will send it to you once you get access to the software. All right, guys, I think you're welcome, Waleed. You are welcome. Thanks, everybody. Version 3 is yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about version 3, Marguerite. That is the one I was working with right there, the version 3 swing. So don't do it. Let me make sure I did the right one. She's got me doubting myself now. Save and share this. So let me just do it again. Ah, that wasn't. There it is, guys. Thank you, Marguerite. Appreciate it. I don't know what I threw in there. But that's the version 3. Thank you, Marguerite. All right, guys. Well, we're about out of time. We're going to hold off on the chart request because I'm going to bring Scott back in here, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about the test drive and give you some more information. And those of you who just cannot wait for the test drive, he'll also have an access code for you to get a discount. So, Scott, if you want to come back in.
Thanks. Yeah, so as mentioned, the test drive starts next week. It actually previews tomorrow after the close. So if you're signed up before the close on Friday, you get access shortly after the close so that all weekend long you can explore the functionality while you're watching videos, get a little seat time in with the controls for Holly and all that kind of stuff. Maybe back test some of your strategies using the odds maker, see how they're doing. Just go to trade-ideas.com/test drive, and it costs $8.88 to get the 5 days of premium, but that covers all the additional support that you're going to probably need, and also your real-time data, because we need to pay the exchanges. So if you're not yet a premium subscriber and you're either on standard or not yet a subscriber at all, give it a try. It's a way to sample everything without making a commitment to an upgrade or a full subscription. And we found it's very satisfying for people. That's why we keep doing it. The ebook that Andy and Jamie mentioned earlier, that we have chapters in, including something about the junk stocks. I forget what the chapter's called, but it's in there. Just go to trade-ideas.com/ebook if you don't have it already, and put in your email address to get that download link delivered to your inbox. There's also a podcast coming out tomorrow. So if you're not yet subscribed, just search for Trade Ideas Podcast in your favorite podcast app and add the subscription so you can download the newest episode whenever it's up. There is a code if you're ready to go ahead and get a subscription right now. Use Save in July, all caps, to save 15% off your first month or year of Trade Ideas. And just do that on checkout. You can also do that when you're upgrading after you log into Trade Ideas from the homepage. Just go to Change My Subscription and use that code. Doing the upgrade to get 15% off your first installment of premium. Any questions, email us, info@trade-ideas.com. You can follow Jamie at QuantBot on Twitter. We also have at TodayTrader and at Trade Ideas. Facebook.com/TradeIdeasPro is the place to like on Facebook so that you can share what we post with your friends. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Andy. Have a good one.
All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow in the support session.
Later.
See you later.
See you tomorrow.